everybody. Welcome to the BOTC podcast, or BotCast as we taking to calling it. I'm your host, Ryman88, and today I have with me Dan Flyheight, who's 3 for 3 in the podcast. And also joining me, who's not the moderator this time, Golem.
Salutations, people.
And another podcast vet, Rock God.
Rawr.
Today, we're going to be talking about a couple things. Just to give you guys a brief rundown, we're going to go over E3 first and share our thoughts on how all 4 of them went. Nintendo obviously didn't show up this year that I'm aware of. Then we're going to talk about the Xbox One and its policy reversals that Microsoft pulled. And then some Grand Theft Auto 5, and last but not least, Steam sales. It just started today.
Take all my money, Steam.
Yeah!
Spends all my money. I can't believe myself.
Spend all the money. But, yeah, so let's go ahead and kick it off with E3. Do any of you guys have any initial thoughts or reactions for this year?
Sony won.
Well,
yeah, coming from an Xbox fanboy, being myself, Sony won easily.
Gamers lost.
well the Xbox One's like the Titanic this year.
Well, I mean, obvious issues aside with, the Xbox One, obviously the whole spy box, the TV thing, what do you guys think that Sony did that really, locked in this generation?
Everything,
well, probably
right.
the lower price point is a good start.
Oh, absolutely.
So it wasn't the games or anything that you guys saw that wowed you or anything?
Well, I quite like the new Metal Gear that's going to be coming out early next year. It looks pretty promising.
I knew you were going to slip in Metal Gear.
Metal Gear!
I enjoyed the Final Fantasy stuff and the Kingdom Hearts 3.
Even though those are going to be multi-platform.
I don't even care about that. My thing was, like, when Final Fantasy 13 came out and they said, "Oh, we're going to put it on the Xbox too." I've always been the person that said that kind of belongs on the PlayStation. So I won't be getting those games actually on the Xbox One. I'll be getting those on the PlayStation 4.
Sure, and people have,
they kind of belong there.
And same thing for Metal Gear if you think about it. But I mean, in the end, when it comes down to it, is it really a bad thing that they're multi-platform?
Well,
Not
now that
gonna
you're
say.
saying that.
I mean,
Profit-wise,
everyone
no.
gets to experience them now. But
True, and the company makes more money, and that allows them to create further games
But
in
even by
their
saying
company's
that,
lifespan.
Square Enix recently announced that Final Fantasy XIV will not be on the Xbone because Microsoft could not afford to get the server. And it would mean them having to get another server, and Square Enix don't exactly want to pay for that.
Yeah, I did see that. That was an interesting thought process behind that.
well, Final Fantasy XIV is kind of last gen or current gen, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I don't think it will be a big of a gap left on the Xbone due to it missing, really.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they are going to have
the
other
sec-
Final Fantasies.
The second the 15th installment comes out, everyone will probably forget Final Fantasy XIV when the next MMO comes out.
Yeah.
Correct, and let us not forget Final Fantasy 13-3.
Oh,
Wait,
please.
they're making a third one. Or is that
Yes.
just...
Guys,
Yeah.
somewhere in Japan, one guy really, really, really loves lightning. And the rest of the world absolutely hates her.
I hate her.
Really? I like her. I think she's a great character.
Nah, to be honest, Final Fantasy 13 was a big disappointment in my books. There was more videos than gameplay.
Well, that's usually the case with Metal Gear as well.
What did you guys think? I can't remember what his name is, and if I could, I probably couldn't pronounce it. What did you guys think of one of the Square Enix heads comparing Lightning Returns to a game like Dark Souls or Demon Souls?
Oh, such a dumb move.
Yeah, because like games
I don't
like
think
Dark Souls, Demon Souls, like it's try not die type thing. It's nothing to do with actual RPGs. It's more of a rage fest.
It's a completely different it's two completely different gameplay elements that should not be compared at all.
Yeah, that's kind of like comparing Tetris to Call of Duty.
It's like releasing Dragon Age 2 and saying you want a Call of Duty audience, which BioWare actually said.
Well, I mean, that is something that Crytek's is doing with the Crysis series. They're trying too much to cater to the Call of Duty crowd and not do their own thing. Granted, it is.
Crytek hasn't been good for a long time now, so really.
That's why I'm very interested in Titanfall, which was a big, Xbox One exclusive during their press conference, and I read about it. I get
the exclusive.
What?
It's a console exclusive, but
yeah, they're only putting it up on the Xbox One for whatever reason.
And there was some hope that I saw that because they apparently said that it's not out. A PS4 version is not out of the question, but from some of the tweets that I've seen, it looks like it's going to strictly be an Xbox thing.
Yeah, and I wasn't very excited for it at first. I really, after watching it, I was like, it kind of looks like a Call of Duty, but I can jump and parkour my way around a map. But I get Game Informer magazine to my house, and they were the title cover for this past month. And after reading it, I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be pretty good. It won't necessarily be a Call of Duty killer, of course, but I think it will do really well.
Right. That's. From what I read, that sounds like that's what they're doing. They're not trying to directly compete. They're trying to do their own thing, taking what they've learned from the Call of Duty titles and bringing it into Titanfall, like the 60 frames a second, the floating gun mechanics, all that stuff, and they're trying to translate it and take advantage of that.
It's going to be a big experiment, but it'll be interesting to see how it really pans out.
Right.
As far as that's concerned. But Sony has something up its sleeve as well as far as the FPS genre goes, which is Killzone Shadowfall. Now, I'm a big fan of the series. The developers hail from the same country as I do, Guerrilla Games.
Right.
And while I'm not entirely sure with the turn the story has taken, it's set 30 years ahead of the last installment. It does look kind of nifty, but it has lost that gritty, dark feel that Killzone always had going on.
Mm-hmm. I've not actually played any of the Killzone series, but when I saw Killzone 3 on the PS4, when they just released it, you know what I mean, on their first conference, the graphics look pretty beautiful, to be honest, and it looks like a good game, and I am willing to try it out.
Yeah, Killzone has always been the benchmark for graphics on the PlayStation consoles, apart from Uncharted this generation.
Right, and even Mike Cerny, the head architect for the PlayStation 4, even said that the graphics artists and the programmers and all that from Guerrilla Games, Naughty Dog, and one other studio I can't think of were actually ICE members, which is basically the studio that creates an engine specifically for the PlayStation brand, and then other first parties utilize that and make their games based on that. Which, if I'm wrong, I think that's actually the first engine that the Metal Gear Solid used on, I want to say it's PlayStation 1? PlayStation 2?
Yeah, the original Metal Gear Solid was PlayStation 1.
Oh god, that game was so hard.
And then obviously, there were the just Metal Gear on, the older, retro consoles. But on
the SNES.
But
Super Famicom.
But on the topic of E3, obviously we've got Sony and Microsoft done. What do you guys think of E3 and Ubisoft? Who do you guys think actually really sort of took the show and said, we are about games now?
Well, both showed more of the same. I mean, Ubisoft had that crazy African-American woman back again. While I really prefer
freakishly tall, mind you. She's like 6'5", I think it was.
I'd really rather have Mr. Caffeine back.
And obviously, EA did have a surprise announcement of their own. Star Wars. Yes. Oh, and don't forget Peggle 2.
Well, so, if the new Star Wars Battlefront is anything like the last one, I think it's going to be an amazing game.
Well, I'm not really looking forward to it that much because I don't know if you guys know who's developing.
It's DICE, as far as I'm aware.
And it's mostly the team that made both modern Medal of Honor games.
And they
For a
actually,
second, I thought you were going to say Modern Warfare, and I was a bit
No,
surprised.
no, but they've been rebranded once again. They're now Dice LA. They were.
And it's also going to use the Source engine.
they used to be Danger Close.
Wait. The
They
new
were.
Battlefront is going to be in Source.
Is it?
Wait, no,
You-
sorry.
No,
I'm
it's-
retarded. Wow.
It's going to be.
I'm glad you agree with us on that. But
Oh, God, wow.
it's Frostbite, right?
Right,
Yes.
yeah, that's what I meant.
How could you get
Sorry.
those two mixed up?
I'm so PC oriented right now with the Steam sale. I just looked at it. I was like, Source, Frostbite. Had a
It's all
stroke.
my money.
Sorry.
So I mean, obviously, the company making Battlefront, they were EA LA, then they got branded into Danger Close, and now they're Dice LA. And does the constant name changing worry you guys at all?
No, because it's pretty much the same company. They're just making different departments, really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's best just to look at the previous games they put out, and in their case, well, Warfighter and the original modern Medal of Honor weren't really that good. I didn't think them to be the bee's knees personally, so I don't really have much hope for Battlefront 3. I'd rather have seen Free Radical finish it all those years ago, but some things just aren't meant to be.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't DICE also do MAG and Dust 514?
No, MAG was done by Zipper Interactive, which has been shut down by Sony since, while Dust 514 was done by CCP, an Icelandic studio that is also in charge of EVE Online.
Ah.
Do your research, boy. But I mean, for me, I'm trying to get excited for Battlefront, but it's just like all we have is like a 45-second long teaser that's all CGI.
Yeah, but you've got to look at the box as well. The EA logo is on it. The Disney logo is on it. Danger Close, or now Dice LA, is developing it. I mean, those are all huge omens pointing towards, well,
a subpar shooter.
Mediocrity, really.
Yeah. And that's something else. They showed it in first-person perspective. So, do you guys think that means that they're going to be making it a first-person shooter and not first-person and third-person, like they did?
Most likely. LucasArts, when they were shut down, a story leaked about a game they had in development, which was first-person, and also the old Danger Close studios have experience with FPS games. So really, it wouldn't surprise me if it's turned out to be an FPS.
But, right, to be honest, making it an FPS only would be quite weird, considering some of the droids you get to use, like the ball droids.
The droidicas, destroyer droids.
Yes. Because controlling them in FPS would be quite complicated, since you can't see it when it's in ball form.
Well, you could do it as a vehicle form, like in Borderlands you'd have first-person view, but once you get in a car, it switches to third person. So it could work the same.
Yeah, it could.
I mean, it's not like these guys are complete idiots. They'll find a way to make it work, and at least make it at an acceptable level. It may not be an enjoyable level.
Include some microtransactions. They want DLC and they'll just ship it off, no problem.
Yeah, and microtransactions. Oh, buy this and you can use a Jedi hero for 20 minutes. Yeah,
That's not too bad. That's like half a match.
Yeah.
Yeah, or buy the day one DLC and get free hats for your Jedi.
Another, I guess, since we're on the subject of Star Wars, BioWare has been confirmed that they are working on a Star Wars title as well. Obviously, we know it's not going to be Knights of the Old Republic 3. That was.
Oh, how dare you say that?
That was Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO. Revan is in it. The Exile's in it. They closed that story in that title. From what you guys know of BioWare, what do you guys think that they're going to do with the Star Wars?
It's gonna have a lot of gay sex, probably.
This is true.
And for the rest, well, mediocre gameplay, really.
It'll absolutely be an RPG.
Right. I guess the question is it going to be similar to the Old Republic series, or is it going to be closer to the Mass Effect series where it's more action-oriented?
Well, I
Hopefully,
think both have basic decks, so really.
So action.
hopefully it's closer to the Mass Effect series, because I didn't really like the turn-based series on Knights of the Old Republic.
What's that, turn-based?
Yeah, the original Knights of the Old Republic's more turn-based, like, fighting-wise.
Oh, it was an Xbox original exclusive, so I never bought with it. So, really.
PC and Mac too, sir. Not exclusive.
Yeah.
I had it on my Mac.
PC is the mustard race.
Console's got to catch up.
So, obviously, EA showed, actually, they showed Need for Speed. And obviously, they're going back to the most wanted type of gameplay. You had the chasers. Right. Do you guys think that they need to stop that and maybe just either come up with something original or just...
Underground 3, please.
We're talking about EA now.
That's what we've been talking about.
No, Need for Speed-wise, I'd love to see him go back to the Underground series because that was great. I love the first Most Wanted. I think that was the best one that had ever been done. But of course, since Criterion's taken it over, I think they have a problem with, in the ways of comparing it anyway, I see a lot of burnout in their Need for Speeds. And so I have this thing where I want Criterion to make Burnout, and I just want somebody else to make Need for Speed. And I'd like to see another Underground, because Underground 1 and 2 on the old gen, the last gen, were fantastic games. They were fantastic driving games. You could customize your car however you wanted. There were tons of things that you could do, and it was an arcade racer, which I tend to lean more towards more than like simulation racers personally, just because I like the fast stuff. I like racing on streets rather than tracks. And
plus, it's more, those games have always been more pick up, play it, have fun with it. Whereas the simulators, it takes time. You got to learn how to compensate for what your car can't do and that kind of stuff.
To be honest, I'd like to see another Need for Speed game like Carbon for the PSP. That was quite a good game.
Oh, now that you mention it, Carbon, in a way, was kind of like Underground 3. I definitely think they could have slapped Underground 3 on the title and everybody would have been okay with it, instead of just using Carbon. Any thoughts on that?
Who knows? Maybe they'll make a follow-up to it, Need for Speed Monoxide or something.
It is EA. They'll find a way.
Most definitely.
And then now we have Ubisoft, which I think obviously did way better than EA, but that's just me. I'm more Ubisoft now, especially since almost all of their games are open world to an extent. You've got The Crew, which is an open world, of course, and then obviously the big surprise of the night, The Division, which just blew me away personally. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, that game looks amazing.
It looked pretty bland to me, to be honest, but I don't really like video games. I don't even know what I'm doing here right now. So.
I do agree with Gollum, though. It does look quite bland.
It's just another third-person cover shooter with, brown and grey and bloom, and it's hard to get excited for it.
Yeah, it's nothing that special, to be honest. It's just going to be another one of those games like Fuse.
I guess you can say that right now most of the hype is pretty much in how good it looks. When I saw it, I thought it was a CGI trailer. And then obviously they started playing around, and they actually released an interview. I can't remember what website. I think it was Cracked. But they actually said that there was a point in the showing, which was apparently completely live, where when they spot an infected person, you said you can't do anything about it right now. They were actually supposed to be able to do something, but the guy who was talking forgot to grab a med pack before the show started. So, and I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is true, that'd be pretty funny. It definitely shows that, this was in an extent, not entirely pre-rehearsed.
That they have it up and running, ready.
Yeah. Yeah, and in a way that's a good thing. It's it's a 2014 title. I think they said fall 2013 or 2014. Obviously, Watch Dogs was shown.
Yeah.
Game.
Well, the more I see of Watch Dogs, the more it reminds me of Assassin's Creed, really. And I hate Assassin's Creed. So I'm gonna give it a pass, and I'm not gonna bother with it.
To be honest, the only similarity to Assassin's Creed for Watch Dogs, I'd say, is the parkour. It looks completely different. It's more I'd say it's more based towards the Grand Theft Auto type stuff.
Well, yeah, I can understand. Plus, they are taking some elements of Far Cry. With the CTOS stations, similar to the radio towers.
Yeah, that's the thing with me, is that I'm excited for it because it looks like they're bringing everything that they've ever worked on and bringing it together into one game, and if it meshes well, it'll be a really fantastic game because you have a lot of things. It shows, to me, I see Hitman, I see Assassin's Creed, I see Far Cry, I see all these different gameplay things that they've put into this, and it looks pretty good to me. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah,
I don't know. It could be a jack of all trades, master of none thing. If you put too many things in your game and you don't polish them well enough, it turns out that everything's just mediocre.
Yeah, but it depends what you put in it. Because if you put into the game what the fans want instead of just what will make you money, it will be quite successful.
Yeah, and plus, the more you cram into the game, the less time you have. Like what Golan was saying, you don't really have the time to sit down with a particular, element of the game and really make it more robust and make it the right way. So, I can definitely understand the concerns in that area. But, like I said, I'm an open world junkie, I'm going to buy it regardless.
So it will be a launch title, right? For both the Xbone and PS4?
Hopefully. I've heard it's also coming out in PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Xbox 3, PlayStation 3, both Xbox One and PS4, the Wii U and PC. So they're really going all out and getting this game out there.
To be honest, I can't really see the game on the Wii U. It'd be really weird.
Well, when you think about it, the touchscreen on the Wii U controller could be like the cell phone that he uses. So, obviously on the consoles, that they're showing on PlayStation 4, you pretty much just have to push square and you'll hack whatever it is. You target it and you press it. Whereas on the Wii U, it gives you more options instead of having to sift through menus.
So, with the tablet, it'll be more of a minigame than hacking.
That's what my theory is, yeah.
Because the Wii U totally needs another minigame collection.
Okay, so between EA and Ubisoft, who do you guys think did better?
EA, to be honest.
True, they did have Battlefield 4 multiplayer.
That's a good question.
Are you smoking a pipe or something?
No, I'm thinking
something.
I'm thinking while having asthma. I'd probably say EA, I guess.
Gollum, I bet you're hating this.
Yeah, kind of. All I know is that gaming between these two companies, gaming loses. That's all I can say.
That's a fair assessment. We're not really seeing. We've only seen maybe 2, 3 new IPs instead of what we saw. I think it was 3 years ago, where pretty much almost everything they were showing was completely new.
Yeah. Well, we're in a recession. Of course, companies won't take big risks with new IPs. But even in that regard, Sony is at least trying with Knack, which is being developed by Mark Cerny. It doesn't look that good. And the Order 1883, I thought it was.
Right.
Of course, that entire trailer was CGI, so we'll just have to see how it pans out.
I've seen some videos of Knack, actually. It looks like a good family game.
Yeah.
It's like
Actually,
the Ratchet and Clank of next generation, if you think about it.
Is anyone here besides me surprised that Deep Down was not shown at E3 this year?
I was, actually.
I don't know.
I mean, because they've shown pictures of them actually playing it. You know, they showed the demo that they've shown at the PlayStation 4 reveal, but it was at a different perspective. It was clearly gameplay at that point.
So, Capcom is developing, right?
Yeah, Pantaray.
They're probably saving it for the Tokyo Game Show, which is due in, what, a month or something?
September, I think it was.
They're probably saving it for then.
Yeah.
Or they just don't have the game working yet.
That's also another valid point. So I guess we'll go ahead and we'll just immediately jump right in. We've been talking for about 20 minutes now on E3.
Actually, 40 minutes.
Go ahead.
Right, we've been talking about this for 40 minutes, not 20.
Well, we didn't jump right in on the thing right away, so...
Yeah, way to break the fourth wall.
Yeah, really. Obviously, let's go ahead and jump right in it. Grand Theft Auto 5. They finally revealed the gameplay trailer.
Oh, yes!
Yes. Absolutely. What is in that shed?
I think Dan's a little bit excited. You're being pretty quiet. What do you think of the gameplay?
Well, it looked good, and I mean, it's Rockstar who has the reins in hands. Really, it's gonna be good. You just know it. But looked good. The whole 3 protagonist thing looks refreshing. The fact that there's a big sprawling underwater world is, well, it's an interesting idea. I wouldn't have put it in myself. Focused resources on other parts of the game, but all in all, it looks pretty good.
Right. I mean, and I can understand that. It's like San Andreas, where you could go underwater, you could swim, but there really wasn't a whole lot to do down there. I mean, there was like, well, I don't even remember any collectibles being down there.
Yeah, there were 50 clamshells, I think, to be collected.
Okay.
If you got all of them, you have like infinite air on the water.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't play San Andreas for the collectibles. Grand Theft Auto has never been that kind of thing for me. The only games I ever actually personally went for collectibles were the Elder Scrolls games with the Daedric artifacts and all that, and Assassin's Creed, obviously. So do you think now that we don't have to rely on oxygen where you just jump in, we're going to have a full swimming gear, So,
speaking of that, they're going to be giving out, well, not giving out, but they're going to be putting into the game underwater mini-games for multiplayer, and there's been rumours of zombie DLC as well.
I hope they don't.
We don't really need more zombies, really. I mean, putting them in Red Dead Redemption was already a stretch, but just keep them out of GTA.
Yeah.
I can't see it working in GTA, to be honest. It's too much of a modern-day thing.
Well, it probably looked like the new Dead Rising 3, which looked pretty bland, really.
Yeah, I saw that and I said, okay, whatever. It's Xbox. No loss.
The Dead Rising series is quite bland anyways. The whole time thing for the whole game is quite rubbish.
Well, the general concept of Dead Rising is pretty fun, but the time limit just completely kills it. If there was an infinite time mode in it, I'd be all over it. But as things stand, I've sold Dead Rising 2 ages ago.
Is there a time limit for
infinite time?
Yeah. Doesn't Dead Rising 3 not have a time limit anymore since it's open world?
I don't think they've said anything about it, but the previous games were kind of open world as well, with all these different kinds of areas.
Yeah, Dead Rising 2 was an open shopping centre with theme park and everything like that.
No, Dead Rising 2 was a big Las Vegas-inspired gambling strip.
Oh, I spent most of my time in the shopping centre.
Well, the first game was a shopping mall, so maybe that's...
Okay. So try to get back on subject here. Obviously they showed a lot of the minigames. There's golfing, bike riding. What was it? I think they said you can actually participate in yoga as well. Like earlier, in the Game Informer.
Well, that'd be interesting.
You can actually participate in the stock exchange. That was a nice little surprise.
I'd actually quite like that. It's an easier way of making money if you know what you're doing.
It's true, and plus, obviously, give it a week, and people are going to have that game completely dissected and explain what to do. And So I'm probably gonna have to avoid the internet for like the first month that game's out.
Is anyone pre-ordering or got it pre-ordered yet?
Well, you really have to pre-order, because I don't think it'll be readily available in stores when it releases. It'll probably be sold out everywhere.
Well, if it's anything like
If
it's anything like Grand Theft Auto 4, I actually went in the day Grand Theft Auto 4 released and got myself a copy without pre-ordering, because I didn't have the money at the time. So,
to be honest, I hope Grand Theft Auto 5 is nothing like Grand Theft Auto 4. It was a good game, but it wasn't as good as the previous titles, like Vice City or San Andreas.
Well, they are still using Euphoria for the animations, Havoc for the physics, and Rage, obviously, which is a Rockstar engine, for the graphics. So it'll be similar, like the mechanics will be, I'm sure. But it looks like to me that, okay, we had Grand Theft Auto 4, that's our core, and just expand on that and make everything better.
Yeah. A bit less of a serious tone, with Trevor, the introduction of Trevor, the batshit insane hillbilly. Things will definitely be more lively, but they have to keep things a bit in check, keep things serious, and not completely veer off the road and hit a tree like Saints Row has done.
There's nothing wrong with Saints Row, though.
Saints Row is a fun game.
Yeah.
Number 4 looks hilarious. They've got a dubstep gun and a Murica gun.
And an anal probing gun.
America!
That zaps people 75 people.
Well, to be honest, Saints Row 2 was the best of the bunch for me, personally, because it had a perfect balance of really serious gangster-related storytelling, but on the other hand, it had pretty good, or at least loads of more wacky stuff.
Not to mention, there was DLC that lets you do work for Ultor. Unless you take over the Ultor Corp.
Saints Row... but that was completely abandoned in Saints Row the 3rd, which took players to a vastly inferior city, Steelport, I think. Stillwater was much better. And they killed off gas. Wait, I should have spoiled that.
Actually,
how did you just do that?
Actually,
right, keep that out.
I will.
The worst.
Actually, you know what? The game's been out for years. If you haven't played it and gotten that story thing, then yes, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Well,
you do have to.
It's a story, because I once got moderated on GameFAQs, was back in 2010, I think, because I spoiled the ending of San Andreas, which was released in 2004, and I got moderated for it in 2010.
Well, that's GameFAQs, so if you so much as type fart in the chat, they're going to moderate you for it. But I mean,
I got moderated just for making a post.
Another thing is, Saints Row 4 was originally supposed to be an expansion to Saints Row 3. And Saints Row 3 itself, was only a game. The version we got of Saints Row 3 was only 40% completed. They were originally going to have Steelport and Stillwater. Gat was never actually supposed to die. He was supposed to be, have his death faked, and he was going to be the antagonist. So I mean, really, when you think about it, they had all this stuff going for Saints Row 3 and just dropped the ball completely.
Yeah, well, THQ was already in trouble back when that game released. Of course, they're bust now. So it was all cut out, I believe, which is a real shame. I mean, I wasted $60 on that game.
Wow, you actually paid that much?
I got it day one, and I love Saints Row 3. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it was a bad game. It's just they clearly had a lot more intended for it, and you can see it in the game. There were a lot of references made to stuff that wasn't actually in the game because it was cut. That was my big disappointment.
I mean,
come on.
The Japanese minigames. They were quite funny.
And who doesn't want to live in a city where Burt Reynolds is the mayor?
Oh God!
Actually,
that was the best moment in the game for me, and in like the wackiness and everything in it. That made it. I was like, I'm so glad I bought this game.
Well, I didn't have any idea who Burt Reynolds was really. So, Can
I ask who's got a vibrating toothbrush on in the background?
I don't understand. Still,
you what, mate?
How do you not know who Burt Reynolds is?
He's an actor.
I'm not from the Anglosphere. I've got no idea.
Burt Reynolds.
He's an actor.
Yeah.
But
Great actor.
did you see both endings for Saints Row 3?
I have seen neither endings for Saint Row 3.
I got one, and then I watched the other one on YouTube.
Okay, I got both of
when
them for
when you declare the game's obviously going to follow the one ending where you take over Steelport,
Right.
where you pretty much declare it a sovereign state. What happens to Burt Reynolds then?
I'm pretty sure that because your character is such a fan of his, he probably still gets to at least be a part of the running of it, I would assume.
Well, that really depends on how much budget they have in Saints Row the 4th to see if they can cash him back.
And also, to the point of Gat dying, Julius also died, and he's back in 4, so they could, resurrect him or something somehow.
Saints Row 4, from what I understand, the superpower thing is actually supposed to be a video game inside a video game.
Right, so they could just bring Gat back just because.
I don't really like how you're the president in Saints Row 4, to be honest with you. That's just way too over the top, in my opinion.
And the alien invasion isn't?
But I mean, it's not something that how many games lets you play as the president going up against aliens?
How many movies do I get to watch?
Call of Duty let you go as the president shooting against zombies.
It's true.
Well, there was this one game called Stalin versus Martians. Well, pretty cool.
You would like a game where you play as Stalin.
Yeah, you
Okay, anyway, getting back on to Grand Theft Auto 5. Obviously, they've got a lot of mini games. Going down the list here between Dan, Sean, and Golem, what's the one you guys are looking forward to the most? I mean, just in the most
in that shed.
Do what?
Personally, I think probably real estate. We hadn't mentioned that one yet, but you'll be able to buy properties, sell properties. At least I've heard that. So I'm really looking forward to that. It harks back to the properties in Vice City Stories.
What, have they actually brought that back?
Yeah, that would be nice. It was the highlight of those games for me.
This is true, especially when they started it in Vice City and brought it into San Andreas, and then it just disappeared. And now it's back.
Yeah,
so.
I quite liked it in San Andreas. We could buy the little beach house and the apartments.
And then each house would, which was cool for me, you could finally go into those houses, and each house had a slightly different layout. I mean, it wasn't much different, but slightly different enough that you could look at it and be like, oh yeah, that's this house, if you played the game enough.
But what I did like about Grand Theft Auto 4, though, is, you could just push the door open and go into your apartment that way. There was no loading screen.
Yeah, that's actually because of the Rage engine. So, since GTA 5 is using the Rage engine again, we're going to see more of that. One thing that I'm personally looking forward to is Grand Theft Auto Online.
That was amazing.
Well, as long as there aren't any trophies for it, I'm down for it, really.
Oh, there will be. They're pretty notorious for putting up achievements and trophies for their online multiplayer. Not to mention making them hard as crap to get.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Auf Wiedersehen Petrovic comes to mind.
Yes.
It's funny. I don't know if you guys actually took the time to stop and do any of your own analysis on the videos. We saw 15 players in the video. But if you look at the individual names, the highest number we saw was 19 or 20 or something like that.
Yeah, it's 20, I believe.
Okay. So, do you guys think they're going to do like a 24-player or a 34-player?
Yes. Free roam.
I think 34 players would be a good, deadline for it.
Yeah.
Well, it's still current gen, or running on current gen consoles, so I think the max will be 24, probably. More than that, and the Xbox 360 will probably melt.
Mm.
Well, it's already melting on its own, most models, but...
Nice little dig there.
Yeah, well. If they're upgrading their servers for Xbox Live, like they say they will, I doubt they'll have that problem. Sir?
Well, that's the X-Bone, mate.
Well, it's for Xbox Live though.
It's the live servers overall that they're overhauling.
Yeah. So.
256.
What's up?
And then obviously, the last subject, Steam sales. Anything that immediately catches your guys' eyes in terms of something that you have to get right now because it's on sale?
Well, Hotline Miami is 75% off, which is a good deal. Most Half-Life games have big reductions. I see Alice Madness Returns is 50% off, Defiance is 66% off, Grid 2, Scribblenauts, Counter-Strike, Killing Floor. There's a load of games reduced right now.
I can't even get onto the store right now. There's too much.
Yeah, I'm having a problem. I'm having a problem with it too. But I just bought all of Counter-Strike because I didn't have it. So I bought Counter-Strike, Condition Zero, the deleted scenes for it, Global Offensive, and Source, all for it for $7.50 American. Fantastic deal in my opinion.
Hallie Dude will love you.
Obviously you guys are cheating. You're looking at the store right now, but
I am.
I've really wanted Anno 2070 for a while, so I'm looking forward to that. Right now, that's 35% off, but I'm hoping to get it for a little of that. That and Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program is a fantastic indie game that you can buy right now. I think it's still part of their early release program over Steam, so it's not the full game yet. They're constantly coming out with tweaks for it, but it's such a cool game.
And you get some trading cards with it.
Yeah, you do. I don't even know anything about the trading cards yet. I still have to get in on that. I haven't been following that.
You can sell them on the marketplace, so you can make some money back for your games. So
the funnest game I've got from the summer Steam sale so far was McPixel for 50 great British pennies. It is hilarious so far. And it's like a game full of lots of mini games. You've got to find the bomb, but you've got to click the right items, otherwise the bomb will explode, and there's really funny animations in it. It's worth buying, and it's really cheap.
What do you guys think of the three community choices so far? Dishonored, Borderlands 2, and Far Cry 3.
I voted for Far Cry 3 because there's no reason for it to be that high as a normal price.
Especially
people should get it for free. Not to mention, it's a fantastic game.
Especially when you
Far Cry 3 as well. I'm still really wanting to play it.
I did Dishonored, to be honest with you. It's something that I've wanted to get, just never went out of my way to go get it yet.
Well, Dishonored is a great game. Well, I didn't vote for it because I already have it for the PS3. I voted for Borderlands just because Far Cry 3, which interests me more, is only 40% off, which is kind of a rip-off. I mean, they can go lower.
True that, but $24 for it is still a good deal for it, because it's a fantastic game.
Well, I mean, especially when you consider Blood Dragon, the DLC for Far Cry 3 is standalone, and it's it's way cheaper, even than, the 40% off.
Blood Dragon was actually better than Far Cry 3.
It was. I was laughing almost the entire time I played it. It's great. It really is.
I still need to buy it.
I still want to play Far Cry 2. Judge me.
You would still want to play Far Cry 2. Is that what you just said?
I bought the collector's edition of Far Cry 2 for full price.
Ugh.
That was a waste of
time. I'm so sorry.
I got a wooden box and a T-shirt.
Like, don't get me wrong. Far Cry 2, it was great, but that was just the intent. It was great intentions. They just completely destroyed it on the execution.
They fell flat on their faces with everything.
Can I ask a question?
However, the user-created levels in that game, at least on Xbox Live, because that's how I had it for a while, those were fantastic. People came up with some amazing ideas to really modify the map.
We had that on the PlayStation as well. It was really fun making your own levels and letting other people try it out. You could make them really complex. You could make them like mazes and everything like that. It was brilliant.
I actually recall seeing several. Granted, this was back when our group was Call of Duty 4 all the way. I actually saw some really cool, Call of Duty map remakes. They had Chinatown, Shipment, Crash. They had that one. It goes to show just how open that map editor is. you're not limited to anything really other than what, like the PlayStation 3 obviously had the weakest map editor, then the Xbox, and obviously PC, had the best one. I haven't seen anything in Far Cry 3 that catches my eye as far as the map editor goes. I mean, there's like one or two map remakes that I like, but I mean, other than that, the original ideas are just pretty mediocre in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think Far Cry 2 sold that well, really. So it was a surprise to see Far Cry 3 announced. But with the huge success of Blood Dragon, we're bound to see more.
Oh yeah.
And war isn't a bad thing in this case.
No. I mean, especially when you consider Ubisoft. I mean, obviously they had, Assassin's Creed 2, and Golem's probably rolling his eyes. Assassin's Creed 2, coming from the first game, it was a big step up. Then they had Brotherhood, which was an even better step up. And then Revelations and Assassin's Creed 3 just kind of went downhill. Ubisoft they've shown that they can improve, that they can make games better. It's not always perfect, but they can do it. So if they do Far Cry 4, or they do something similar to Blood Dragon, I personally have faith that they'll do right by us.
What do you guys think of the new Assassin's Creed Black Flag that's coming out soon? Personally, I felt like number 3 was quite repetitive in a way, but the other features like properties and boat ship riding, stuff like that, was quite fun. But what do you guys think of Black Flag, since you're not the main character anymore?
I'll go last. I'll let you guys discuss that.
I just want the franchise to die. It's all I want.
I'll buy it and I'll enjoy it, but I'm questioning the whole High Seas almost, just being exclusive to that. Well, I don't know how it's gonna hold me.
They did do a new video. It released yesterday.
I haven't seen it.
It released the same day as the Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer.
Those conniving people.
They did show a lot of the stuff. From what I've seen, they're cramming the world with tons of shit. Pardon my French. Tons of stuff to do. All these collectibles, and they've shown that the being on the seas on your ship is just as rewarding for exploration than going to the cities, which they said there's over 50 unique locations in the game. And they actually pulled the map back and showed you the entire region, and it's pretty big. It's about 3 times the size of the Frontier. And there's no loading scenes, and there's cities just as big as New York and Boston in there. So, and the fact that there's 2 characters in the game, according to them. There's Edward, and then there's the Jackdaw. So.
The Jackoff? What?
The Jackdaw is the name of the ship. But
Oh, sorry, I was typing while I was listening.
We've gone into private conversation now.
So, I mean, for me, I'm being more cautious, obviously. Assassin's Creed 3, I liked it at first, but then it was like Skyrim. Once I spent time in it, it's like, they really didn't do much.
Yeah, I didn't do very much extracurricular stuff with it a lot. I just kind of played through the story. I was very much like everybody else, where I was like, when do I get my assassin's robes? And then, I think it was chapter 6, I think? And then I went through the story. I didn't go hunting. I didn't explore stuff. I wasn't trying to find anything. I was just, let's get through this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're changing it.
Two is
off.
my favorite.
You're
the best in my opinion.
Yeah, for Assassin's Creed 4, they're starting off. You're Edward. You're an assassin. You're fully trained. You're ready to go. Pretty much is what it is.
And there's no present person that his memories are being accessed this time, right? It's just him.
Yeah, it's just you. You are apparently the Abstergo employee this time around. So they already confirmed that the modern day stuff is going to be first person. You're going to be exploring Abstergo, so you'll be able to go to other cubicles and, sort of investigate what's going on and all that stuff. But
boy, did I love those first-person segments in Brotherhood, or no, not Brotherhood, Revelations. That was so cool.
Oh yeah, but I mean, but it's just for me. It's like I don't care about that. I want to know what they're doing with Juno.
Right, yeah, I want to know what happens after the end of Assassin's Creed 3. See that, Golem? That's how you not spoil things.
You mean when she blows up the planet, or?
You son of a...
Quit spoiling shit.
You mad, you mad, you mad.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, that's something I didn't get about Assassin's Creed 3. I didn't get the whole end of the world aspect, because they just like randomly threw it into the third game. There's nothing about it in the other 5. Or other 4.
Actually,
they've always been secretive.
It was set up in the previous games.
I never noticed it.
No, they actually did set it up, and
it was right at the end.
They put out Brotherhood and Revelations before 3, so 3 could tie in with 2012 and the whole Doomsday thing. So they really carefully set that up, actually.
And then they did do some...
About the only thing they properly did with Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, but they did do some retconning. Obviously, you know, I'm going to spoil this for a lot of people. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, you kill an ally, and then in the game, like, oh yeah, she was a Templar, no big deal. And then they go on. It's like that was stupid.
Ryan, remember to beep that out. Wink, wink.
No, it's fine. I think I'm just going to throw this entire thing on YouTube and not even edit it. Just say, here.
every time there's a swear, instead of there being just like a loud beep noise, it should be like a chicken noise. It should be like,
fuck.
Well,
I'll just make a fart sound, like they do in
games.
Yeah. They did it in Clock's Bad for a Day, and it worked. I'm going to do that. But, so yeah, before we... Go ahead.
Yeah, I've got one more thing to say about the Steam sale, because everyone who's listening should check it out as soon as they can, because the background for the Steam sale is a bluish sort of map. But if you actually look closely at the map, it corresponds with the map for Half-Life 2.
Dun, dun, dun.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Yes.
The internet just went up. It just caused flame wars everywhere.
I still conspiracy theory to close up shop with.
I think for the title of this podcast, we should name it Half-Life 3 Confirmed.
Yeah, we've got some insider info from Valve.
Yeah, my uncle works at Valve. Yeah.
And we all just
he brings Gabe his lunch.
We all just so he works for Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's. Freaky fast.
Freaky fast.
But any closing notes? Anything you guys personally want to share with the rest of the world? I know
I want Sega to localize Yakuza 5 in the HD collection.
You guys should buy me stuff off the Steam sale and I'll be extra nice to you and I'll pay you.
I already did, Sean!
Okay, so,
I love you, go on.
So to close up the podcast, I'm going to share some site news. Obviously, we've got a couple new members. 2 veterans of the community are back. XJC, or JC as we call him, the biggest jackass you'll meet on the internet.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah! Such positivity in that message.
We're definitely going to have to try to get him in a podcast one day, because he'll definitely provide some colorful commentary. And then Salvage, I don't know if any of you guys, Sean might, but she's back.
I think she came after I left back in 2010, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, she joined back when SOHK was epic and then came back. And then obviously we have Plain Be Goofy, Ivan SGO, they're back. See, we got a couple older people that came back. We still need to get Beaner back here.
Oh, we also got Injustice for All back.
Who?
Injustice for One, even.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about him. AJ. Sorry, AJ. Looking through the list.
We've got a birthday, I think.
Oh yeah.
It
Krieg
is.
Meister Krieg.
Meister Krieg, happy birthday to him.
Yay!
I forget how old he is now.
22.
Wow, he's a lot older than I thought he was.
Yeah, I used to think he was about my age.
Well, you're still just a baby, so.
I'm supposed to give a shout out to let's see here. How is it? It's LV3 Cyan. LV3 Cyan. Shout out to you, sir.
Level 3 Saiyan. Pete.
No, it's definitely Cyan. S-I-A.
Semen?
It could be.
You have different levels of semen? How does
what
American biology work?
What do you think a level 3 semen looks like?
A frog.
Probably
It
long,
has a spoiler?
blonde flowing hair and just come at me, bro.
And I'd like to give a shout out to Hallie Does, my heterosexual, homosexual brother.
AIDS!
We shot AIDS into this now. Great.
So yeah, I mean, we got some old members coming back. We have a birthday. I mean, anything you guys, as far as site, for serious stuff here. I mean, nothing silly. Anything you guys want to say regarding the site?
Join now.
Yes.
Spartanhead 2K is an awesome leader.
Do we have a Twitter? We should make a Twitter.
We do have a Twitter, but I never use it. I don't like Twitter.
You can find us at Twitter at BOTC.
Actually, I tried looking for Twitter before. I couldn't find it. You should probably post the link in the crotch bar.
If I can find it, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like what they said, join us. I'll have the link in the description, but it's either clanbotc.com or you can join us at formmotion.botc.com.
Actually, it's BotC.formmotion.
Whatever. Quit raining on my parade.
Oh God! Somebody type that in and see if we get something really bad.
Yeah, it's botc.formmotion.com. Apologies.
You can also leave a comment on this video and we'll hold your hand all the way to the site.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
We are a community. We're not really a clan, in my opinion. We support all the consoles, even the Wii.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do. We have sections for them. Some are just less active than others.
I get crapped on every day.
Cleveland Steamer.
We should have done this at the start, sir.
Probably. Just to clarify, when you do sign up, you register using your username, which is either your PlayStation Network ID, Xbox Live Gamer Tag, Steam ID, or whatever. If you have more than one of those, use whatever is your preferred. If you prefer Xbox over PlayStation, use your Xbox Live Gamer Tag as your username.
That's what I do.
And you can always just add your other usernames to your signature or to your profile. And
and if you prefer the Nintendo consoles, you can use your 12-digit friend code.
Yes.
Preferably
keep that in your signature. But hey, whatever floats your boat. If you want to be a number name, go for it.
Yeah, whatever ripples your nipples.
I'd like to make a statement that if you're a PC gamer, you should join up, because there's not very many of us right now, and we would love lots more of you, because we're mostly orientated around Xbox and Sony.
No, we're not.
We don't have that many Steam gamers. We need more. We've only got like 5 avid gamers.
Right, the rest just joined like Spartan because they have a Steam account and whatever. I'll join.
And then we have 2 active Xbox, players. So, Xbox Live, there's 6 million of you out there. Let's, come on. Get on the ball, people.
Despite the colorful commentary that we provide about the other consoles, we do openly welcome other, but yeah, I mean, we do give the other consoles shit, but that's just because we started on the PlayStation. But we do definitely welcome other, whether you're an Xbox player or you're a Nintendo player or PC, you're definitely welcome on our site. Check us out. We also have a Facebook. We have Google Plus, I think, unless Sean was too drunk to finish that.
I thought you were doing it. I'll finish it off tonight.
But yeah,
we've got MySpace as well. We've got Instagram.
We do.
Do all that social networking jazz.
We've got an eBay account.
Yeah, you can donate to us.
We have
active list in the listing section.
We all have active wish lists on Steam and Amazon if you want to buy us stuff.
You
Don't buy us
can
stuff.
also find all 4 of us on OkCupid.
Yes, that's not even a joke. You can actually absolutely find me on OkCupid. I'm trying to find somebody.
I am on OkCupid. I'm on
Worst site ever.
Oh God, that was supposed to be a joke, guys.
You get exactly what you pay for, which is nothing.
I do want to point out real quick that we don't care if you're male, female, or both. we really do not care. We've got 3 female members now.
Yeah.
For mine and Lev Free Cyan's sanity, you should try be female and get more female gamers in here for us.
Preferably underage.
For Pete, for level 3 science is
For his demon, yes.
And over 30 for me.
I think I've started something terrible.
Yeah, let's just wrap up.
Let's wrap up. I gotta go to work.
There's already a black fan outside my window, please.
But yeah, check us out on the website. Check us out on Facebook, on Steam. But yeah, until next time, keep gaming, and let us know what you guys thought of the podcast below. Until next time, I'll see you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
I have to pee.
Yeah.